Okay, so I want to run through yesterday's Tanya in English real quick so I can get into the flow of what it's talking about again and recall the important details. And then when I go into today's Tanya, which is Wednesday, the 11th Sivan, then I'll be able to do the Hebrew as well. So having established earlier that creation is continuous by virtue of the divine utterances, energy, which propel existence non-stop, it becomes clear that ultimately the only true existence is the godly force. For without it, there's nothing. Perek Gimel, chapter 3. The Elder Rebbe has explained that the activating force of the Creator must constantly be vested within creation, ceaselessly creating and reanimating created beings ex nihilo, something from nothing. This force consists of the creative letters which emanate from the 5 supernal organs of verbal articulation. Now, following these words of truth concerning the nature of creation, namely that the activating force must continually be vested in created beings and created them ex nihilo, something from nothing. Every discerning person will understand clearly that every creature and being, even though it appears to have an existence of its own, is in reality considered to be absolute not and nothingness in relation to the activating force which creates it and the breath of his mouth which is within it, continuously calling it into existence and bringing it from absolutely nothing into being. Since this function must be continuous, it follows that the creature's activating force is the true reality of its existence. The being itself bears no comparison to the activating force which is wholly responsible for its existence. The reason that all things created and activated appear to us as existing, in example, self-subsisting, intangible, and we fail to see the divine activating source, we fail to see the divine activating source, which is the true reality of any created being, so that we do not comprehend nor see with our physical eyes the power of God and the breath of his mouth which is in the created thing. If, however, the eye were permitted to see and to comprehend the life force and the spirituality which is in every created thing, flowing into it from that which proceeds from the mouth of Hashem and his breath, then the physicality, materiality, and tangibility of a creature would not be seen by our eyes at all. For it, this physicality, etc., is completely nullified in relation to the life force and the spirituality which is within it. Since without the spirituality within it, it would be not in absolute nothingness, exactly as before the 6 days of creation, at which time the creature was utterly non-existent. The spirituality that flows into it from that which proceeds from the mouth of Hashem and his breath, that alone continuously brings it forth from naught and nullity into being. And this spirituality gives it its existence. Hence, there is truly nothing besides him in any created being apart from divinity, the only true reality that brings it into existence. And the created beings does not constitute a true reality inasmuch as it is wholly dependent for its existence on the continuous flow of divine life force. Indeed, its existence barely consists of that activating force. Takeaway: this true existence is the energy of existence. If you are the cause, then you are real. If you are dependent, then you are transient and flimsy. God is real. God is the source of all. Creations of men are null and void in comparison to Him. So now, today's. In Shaar chapter 3, in today's lesson, an illustration of something appearing to exist independently, but when viewed within the context of its source loses its separateness, is the light of the sun's rays, which lack significance within the solar globe itself. The Elder Rebbe proceeds to demonstrate how this is true of creatures that appear to be tangible by means of an illustration. An illustration of this is the light of the sun, which illuminates the earth and its inhabitants. This illumination is the radiance and the light which spreads forth from the body of the sun and is visible to all as it gives light to the earth and the expanse of the universe. Mashal lezehu or hashemesh hameir ba'aretz l'darim shehu ziv ba'or hamishpatet miguf hashemesh v'nira le'ein kol meir al ha'aretz u'v'chalau ha'olam. Now it is obvious that this light and radiance is also present in the very body and matter of the sun globe itself in the sky. For if it can spread forth and shine to such a great distance, then certainly it can shed light in its own place. She'im mishpashet me'ir u'lemeirachok kol kach kol shekein sheyochal laha'ir b'mkoimai mamish. V'hinei zeh pashut tzari she'or v'ziv hazeh yeshno gam kein beguf v'choimer kador Hashemes atzmo b'shamayim. Te'im mishpashet u'me'er merachok kol kach kol shekein sheyochal laha'ir b'mkoima mamish. However, there, in its own place, this radiance is considered not in complete nothingness. Rak shesham b'mkoma mamash nakshav haziv hazav v'ayin v'efesh mamish. For it is absolutely non-existent in relation to the body of the sun globe, which is the source of the light and radiance. Ki batel mamish v'msias lagabe guf kador hashemesh shehu makor ha'or v'haziv hazah. Inasmuch as this radiance and light is merely the illumination that shines from the body of the sun globe itself, shahaziv ha'or hazah ein rak ha'ara me'ir meguf ve'etzem kador hashemesh. Kador is globe, I guess. Since the sun's light is merely an illumination deriving from the sun, it is in a state of complete nothingness. While it is found within the sun globe itself, one cannot say that within the body of the sun there is sunlight. Only the sun itself is found there. Rak b'chalau ha'olam tachas kol hashamayim v'ha'ol ha'aretz she'ein ka'an guf kador hashemesh b'mtzios. It is only in the space of the universe under the heavens and on the earth where the body of the sun globe is not present, and all that is seen is but an illumination that emanates from it. That this light and radiance appears through the eye of all beholders to have actual existence. Nirekan ha'or haziv ha'zeh v'yesh mamish la'ayin kol v'noifel alav ka'an she'em yesh be'emes. And here the term existence, yesh, can truly be applied to it, The sun's light and rays as they appear outside of the sun globe can truly be said to exist inasmuch as the sun itself is found there. Whereas when it is in its source, in the body of the sun, the term existence cannot be applied to it at all. It can only be called not non-existent. Masha ein king kishahu bimkaro b'guf hashemish ein nofel alav shem yesh klal rak shem ayin ve'efesh. There it is indeed not, and absolutely non-existent, for there only its source, the luminous body of the sun, gives light, and there is nothing besides it. Ki ve'emes hu sham la'ayin ve'efesh mamish she'ein me'ir sham rak makoro levado shehu guf hashemesh ha'me'ir ve'efesh bilado. And there is indeed not and absolutely non-existent, for there only its source. The luminous body of the sun gives light, and there is nothing besides it. To sum it all up, although the sun's rays are surely found within the body of the sun, they cannot be said to exist there. They are found there in a manner of non-existence, in a state in which their separate identity is utterly nullified. That which can be deemed to exist within the sun globe can be nothing other than the sun itself. So the exact parallel to this illustration is the relationship between all created beings and the divine flow of the life force that emanates from the breath of his mouth, which flows upon them and brings them into existence and their source, and is their source. V'kadvarim ha'elem mamish bidmusam kitsamam Haim kol habarim l'gabe shefa ha'elohi meruach piv ha'shoifea aleihem hamve oisam v'hu makaram. However, the created beings themselves are merely like a diffusing light and effulgence from the flow and spirit of God, which issues forth from him and becomes clothed in them and brings them from naught into being. Vehem atzmam einam rakamai or viziv mispashet min ha-shefa v'ruach Hashem ha-shoifeya o mislabesh b'soicham u'moitziam me'ayin liyesh. Hence, their existence is nullified in relation to their source, just as the light of the sun is nullified and is considered not an utter nothingness. V'lechein heim batelim bimsuyos l'gabe mukoram kama or hashemesh shabatel mitzias v'nakshav la ayin ve'efesh mamish, and is not at all referred to as existing when it is within its source. Vis the sun, the term existence applies to it only beneath the heavens where its source is not present. Ve'eno nikra v'shem yesh klal keshehu bimkoirei rach tachas hashemayim she'ein sham makoro. In the same manner, the term existence can be applied to all created things only as they appear to our corporal eyes. Kach kol habarim ein nofel lehem shem yesh klal ela le'enei basar shalanu. For we do not see nor at all comprehend the source which the Spirit of Hashem that brings them into existence. She'ein anu royim v'shemim kol. Sorry, I just fell asleep for a second. I don't know if you're sure where I left off. In the same manner, the term existence can be applied to all created things, only as they appear in our corporal eyes, for we do not see nor at all comprehend the source, which is the Spirit of Hashem that brings them into existence. She'ein royim umashkim sigim klal im hamakar shehu ruach Hashem hamhaveh oisam. Therefore, since we do not see nor comprehend their source, it appears to our eyes that the physicality, materiality, tangibility of created things, actually exist. V'lokein nira le'einenu gashmios hanivrayim v'chumram umamasham shehem yesh gemor kamosha nira or Hashemesh yesh. Just as the light of the sun appears to exist fully when it is not within its source, and is found within the expanse of the universe, in truth, the source of all creatures is constantly found within them, and their failure to perceive this notwithstanding, hence their existence is totally nullified in relation to their source, and they cannot be said to truly exist. But in the following respect, the illusion is apparently not completely identical with the object of comparison. Vrak shebazeh ein hamshala hamashal daimel nimshal ukamrei likora. For in the illustration, the source, the sun, is not present at all in the expansion of the universe and upon the earth where its light is seen actually existing. Sheva mashal ein hamakar bimsios klal b'chayim. Sheva mashal ein hamakar bimsios klal b'chalal. Ha'olam ve'al aret shenivra sham oro liyesh gemor. For the illustration, the source, the sun, is not present at all in the expanse of the universe and upon the earth where its light is seen as actually existing. Since the sun itself is not present upon the earth, its rays are able to assume a seeming reality of their own. It is therefore readily understandable why they are perceived as existing independently. By contrast, all created beings, are always within their source, the divine activating force, which is continuously found within them, continually creating and animating them ex nihilo, and it is only that the source is not visible to our physical eyes, since in reality they are indeed within our source at all times. Why are they not nullified in their source? Why are creatures not nullified within their source in an obvious and revealed manner, so that there is no mistaking them as independently existing beings? To understand this, some prefatory remarks are necessary. Ach lahaven zeh tzarig lahakdim. The Alter Rebbe will go on to explain that the divine power of concealment and contraction is responsible for hiding God's light so that they will not be perceptible to created beings. This enables creation to be perceived as processing essence, whereas in reality is totally nullified within its source. Take away you don't see your godly source of energy so that you lose that property preference point of real truth, and truth you are totally subsumed within the oneness of God. Everything is duly divine.